Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. A little bit of I don't know what it is. It got really cold recently. Like just since we talked last.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like before it was like 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and now it's like 40. And so the temperature, whenever that happens, I don't know if this happens to you, but it like changes my voice. So let me know if for some reason you can't hear me or like my voice sounds funny. How are you though?
Yeah, I'm good. Yesterday, I finished another project, so yeah, I'm pretty good.
Nice. Did you like build a model in the studio or something? Or a different type of
Yeah, I
project?
built a space,
Okay, cool.
not a basic studio. It is, yeah, another subject project.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. I still have so much homework to do.
What type of?
Um, Mostly studying. I have 2 exams on Tuesday, so
What is it?
the first exam is heat transfer, and then the second exam is kinetics and reactor design.
Is both are related to physics? All right, physics.
Kind of. Heat transfer is definitely related to physics. I don't know. Kinetics is interesting. It's kind of related to chemistry, but not really. It's more math than anything else. Like, there's a way to explain it with chemistry, but it's very complicated. And so, what happened instead? Oh, actually, this is kind of interesting. Um, there's something called like empirical design. Have you heard of that before? Empirical design.
What is it? I haven't heard
So,
of it.
empirical design is when you can't know something just by like understanding a law or like a theory or a concept. And so instead you have to do an experiment. And so the results of that experiment help you know something and like come up with some type of equation or math to describe what's happening. And so kinetics is like that. So the theory is very complicated. And so instead of doing the theory, um, scientists did experiments and they came up with like equations. So empirical design.
Uh, so like not just studying of not studying the theories of uh, the details of theory, instead just doing experiment and understanding.
Yeah,
Something like
exactly.
that.
hmm
I see.
But I think a few other subjects are kind of similar, where the theory is too complicated, and so they do like empirical design instead. But to be honest, I could not tell you which ones. Yeah.
So
It,
that means you will do experiment for as an exam for
um,
that subject.
so we don't do experiments. We just do like math problems based on what the scientists have already figured out. Uh, let's see if I can
Uh,
show you something. Have you heard of an engineering chart before?
engineering
Chart?
chart.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Let me show you something. Let's see if I can find a good one. Share my screen with you real quick. That's gonna take forever to load. Oh no, this isn't my textbook. This is someone else's. Okay, so you see this right here? So this is kind of like an engineering chart. So a long time ago, a scientist did an experiment and they came up with this equation and this chart. And so on our exam, we have to use charts like this to figure out things. And so it's kind of like that. Yeah. So we look at the results of experiments to do math, basically. And see if they have
Just
that.
based on the data
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the past experience.
Here's another one. Yeah. Lots of
Wow.
charts. I don't know.
Then
Maybe is
you
your
have to use function.
yeah sometimes. And some of the functions are easy, but some are hard. Some have like differential equations in them, which are not exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks so difficult.
Um, what about? I guess is your statistics class ever like that? Like you have to look at results of experiments and answer questions based on that.
Uh, um, how can I say? In my case, I don't have like that classes right now, but
Mhm.
after becoming second grade of my university, I have to choose my major between the two things, you know.
Mm.
Then after selecting my major, I think I will do something like that, like based on the data.
Oh, yeah. That'll be interesting. It's I don't know. It's kind of cool sometimes. It always makes you think though. Were people in the past just like really smart, or am I just really not smart to do all those experiments in the first place? Um, oh,
They're so smart, you know.
exactly. Trying to think what else is going on. Oh, I watched Eternals. What did now that I've seen the
Oh,
movie?
how
What
was
did
it?
you? It was good. I really liked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
What did you think?
First of all, I told you that this movie will be very long
Mm-hmm.
movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost 30 hours. So I think that is the best way to express the 10 people of Eternals, and they have, you know, from that movie they have to spend the time to introduce the main characters and deviants, the villains, and also celestials, something like that. So I think long term, you know, long time movie is the best way to introduce it. And many people said that they disappointed about the action scene. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the the amount of action scene and the quality of action scene. They disappointed. Many people say like that, and in my case, um, yeah, a little bit, but I cannot understand why they think um, the amount of action scene was not enough because you know from the first and the middle and the end there are all action scenes in
Mm-hmm.
each part. So um I think it was enough. There are a lot of action scenes, but I think what can I say, it doesn't have like an impact, like a very strong and powerful action shot. I think that
Mm-hmm.
was not, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
And you
yeah.
know, Donli is a Korean. You know it? Donli.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
No, I didn't know
Gilgamesh.
that. Oh, wow, cool.
He's a very
I think.
famous actor from here.
Oh, I loved his role. Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you. I think there was a lot of character development, which was nice. It was. I feel like a lot of times the Marvel movies they they don't necessarily have a lot of character development, you know, or or sometimes I even think they have inconsistent character development. Like with the that's my one complaint about like the Loki TV series. I don't know. Did you watch? I think you watched that one. I feel like I remember you telling me this.
I I couldn't watch, but I
Oh,
saw the review of it.
oh, okay. Yes, yeah, the reviews. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
felt like it was kind of like inconsistent character wise. And so I think this one did like a really good job showing how the characters changed over. I can't even remember what it was like 5,000 or like 7,000 years or something. So
yeah.
I was a fan. Yeah, the action was like it was a good action shot, but it's like you said, it wasn't super meaningful. It didn't matter in the end because like in the beginning they were fighting the deviants, and then they found out that they were kind of doing that for like no reason. And then that final action scene at the end where she just like kind of like accidentally got connected to the celestial. It's like, oh, that's luck, you know. I think,
Yeah, I think so.
but it was yeah, still good.
Yeah. I don't know how um you know what for when I saw the trailer of Eternals, I feel like that they are gods, you know. From
Hmm.
from from the trailer they said the people um think they are God, something like that. So I expected that they're really, really strong.
Hmm.
So so I expect like a very powerful action scene, something like that. And I think many people expected that too. But as I said, like it was they seem like not too strong, something like that. Not enough.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. I love the characters' names because it was like a reference to the different
yeah,
some of the gods. Yeah, that was cool.
the myth, you know.
Yep.
I like the Gilgamesh is a was a hero of ancient, where is it? Ancient Egypt? All right. I cannot remember it,
I
but
thought it was. I thought it was in India.
is India?
Uh-huh. That's what I thought. You had to read one of the poems or part of the
Yeah.
poem in my world history class.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But this is why we don't know where it's from. It's from Mesopotamia, which doesn't exist
Mesopotamia.
anymore. Yeah. I think it's in like the modern day Middle East. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And Icarus? Icarus is from Greece myth, right? Like the
Hmm.
wings.
Yep. Yeah, that one. And then, so was Athena, and
Athena.
then
Athena.
Hephaestus,
Yeah.
and then Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah.
Or,
I
and
thought. Oh, am I forgetting something? Oh, Circe might be too. Honestly, that's like
yeah,
a goddess of like magic or something. I think.
like a changing the people into animal.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice because in my case I was like so much of the Greece myth before when I was younger than now. I read a lot. Yeah,
Um,
I love it. So yeah,
Uh,
it was very excited.
oh, is that the Percy Jackson books that you read?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I read that too. Percy Jackson.
yeah. I feel like a lot of people in our generation read those books, and so we know like a lot about Greek mythology, especially compared to other people
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it
in
was very
school.
excited.
Mm. I feel like there's so many good movies out right now. I haven't seen this one, but have you seen Dune? I heard it was really good too.
Yeah, I saw that too because you know my professor said you have to motivate it from the movie Dune.
Hmm.
She gave me some project about Dune, so I have to watch it. But I never expected that it was almost 3 hours. Also,
Hmm.
just one movie. So I never expected it. So when I watched the movie, I was shocked.
Hmm.
And you know what? The movie Dune was based on the novel, right? The
Hmm.
science fiction novel. But I haven't known about the original novel story. So to me, it was not familiar to me. So a little bit boring. It was.
Oh,
To
yeah.
me.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind if I ever go see it.
Have you read the original novel?
I haven't read it. I'm kind of like scared too. Um, the book is apparently supposed to be really hard to read. I don't know if like maybe you felt this from the movie, but the book like starts right away like introducing all these like characters and like
Yeah.
names of
Yeah.
places and history. It's like a big like dump of information like all at the beginning. And so a lot of people have a hard time remembering it. And so and it's like 100 pages worth of just like and so a lot of people have a super hard time with Dune. Like they can't not finish it.
Yeah. That movie was like that. So many explanation of the background and the characters or something like that. So it was almost all time
Mm-hmm.
um spent as time to explain it. So it's like
Uh,
a yeah.
yeah. I almost feel like when you have like a lot of the movies that are based on books, they have a lot of explanations. I almost feel like they'd be better as like TV series, like on Netflix.
Mm,
Especially after
yeah.
I don't know if you watched Game of Thrones, but that books there's so much happening in that book series. Like all the family relationships are very complicated and there's a lot of history, but since they put it in the show, like you it was very digestible. No, it wasn't just like all at once. They only like introduced stuff as you needed to know it. So I think like I don't know. If I ever wrote a very dense book, I would make the TV series instead of the movie. But that's
Um,
probably not going to happen. So,
and Maze Runner too, you know?
hmm. Oh
Maze
yeah,
Runner.
yeah.
I watched first one and second one. Not third one, but
Hmm.
first one was so sensational to me. And it was very fresh and very funny too. But second one is just like many people said that it was just like a zombie movie.
Mm, yeah. Reading it. Did you read the books, the Maze Runner books?
Yeah, I read that too.
I thought reading it was kind of a similar experience. Like the first one was very like interesting and exciting, and then as the books went on, I'm like, what is happening? You know.
Yeah.
It was almost like the first book was written without a plan for the second two. It's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Do you ever think, I know you watch a lot of like YouTube video essays, like reviews. Do you ever think about making your own video essays or like your own YouTube reviews?
Uh, first of all, I haven't I haven't thought like that because
Mm-hmm.
I think um I'm not professional,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I couldn't do well if I do that. So I
Uh-huh.
just watched the review,
Ah.
and I feel like, oh, they think like that. Oh, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Ah, I see. Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, you're very busy with schoolwork, but if you ever have free time, I think you would be good at it. This is my opinion, though.
Make a video.
Yeah. Yeah. I think those would be fun too. I have a few friends. They don't do the videos, but they'll like do a podcast or something.
Oh,
Like my friend Cole, he has a
yes.
podcast that he does. Yeah, and like I don't know, he seems like he enjoys it. It like lets him be creative and express his opinion. So
What is his concept?
he does like funny stories,
Um,
and so he'll invite like a guest onto the podcast, and they'll have like a conversation. And then usually they try to talk about like one topic, but then they get like off topic, and it's just very entertaining. At least I
uh,
think so. He's also my friend, so I might be a little biased, but I think it's good.
I
Like
see.
yeah, it's like story time.
Mm.
Hmm.
You know what? Sometimes I'm very envy about like that people because you know um if they do like that podcast or something like that, they have to be very confident, and they have to be good at speaking, right? Like a
Hmm.
very funny and sometimes a serious or something like that. But I think I'm not good at like a very funny speaking because like a attractive speaking stuff like that. I think so. Sometimes I'm very envy about that people.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to like definitely have the voice for it. I think the same thing too. I don't know. You might have picked up on this. My voice is like it's a little different sometimes.
What is the meaning? Little
I don't know.
different.
I've had friends tell me this. So like they'll say my voice is not good. It's not bad. They use the word distinct.
Distinct.
Yeah. So like usually if I'm talking in a crowd and like someone who knows me is in the room, like they'll recognize it immediately. I'm like, oh, Abby. Like it's very easy to pick
Ah.
up that it's me. I haven't. Sometimes people have very similar voices. I
Mm.
haven't met. I guess maybe my mom sounds like me, but that's it. That's the only person I can think of.
I see. But that could be your advantage, you know, when
True.
when you have a speech in front
Yeah.
of all people. It can
Have
be.
you ever? Uh huh. Have you ever met anyone who like has the same voice as you, like identical, a match?
I haven't seen, but my friends told me that they heard they heard it like a same voice and similar voice of me, but I haven't heard it. Why? And
Oh,
I haven't heard it, but they told me that.
I think that's always so neat when you meet someone who like or looks like a stranger who looks like you or has a similar voice or the same handwriting even.
Oh yeah,
That is very interesting to me. Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
It's
And
like
yeah, and um, including me, some people change their voices. Like it depends
mm,
on the situation. Like if they have a when they do some presentation or they do something like a daily conversation with others, and when they something like a singing something like that, they they have all different type of voices. And
mhm.
my parents have said to me that too. You have a different voices when depends on the situation.
Mm, that's cool though.
Do you think so? How about you?
Me? I don't know. Definitely when I'm angry, I have a different voice. And
Like a
actually, yeah, like I sound, I guess, just more, it gets deeper, like more
mm,
serious. Also, my voice is different when I speak Spanish versus English. I don't know if you have the same type of thing. Like when you speak a different language, your voice changes a little bit.
yeah, I think so. Like a in my case, when I speak English, when I speak a Korean, I think it is a little bit different too.
Hmm. Yeah. I have some friends who are like native Spanish speakers, and so they'll have. This is I always have such a hard time, but they'll have me like practice my Spanish with them, and they say that my voice gets lower, which is
Oh,
interesting. I think so. Yeah,
did
but
they
just when
like
I
it?
speak Spanish. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: like the American accent is not a pretty one for the most part.
What?
Like, yeah, because you know, whenever you like speak a different language, you always have. I mean, with practice, you can, I guess can get rid of an accent, but it's really hard to. Like, you always have at least a little bit of one.
Mm.
And some languages I feel like go very well with Spanish. Like American English does not. It just sounds a little old. Especially like I have a. I don't know. I don't have like a super Texan accent, but I have a little bit of one, and so that adds to it too. Like it's a little not just American, but like Southern American, and so it just sounds a little odd, in my opinion.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You know what? In Korea, we have a, like a Konglish. Have you heard about it?
Mm.
Konglish?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the Korean version of English. Yes, accent is yeah, the different.
Mm-hmm. Um, oh, one last thing, and then I got it. We have to remember to do essay stuff, but
Yeah,
I don't know if you've noticed this, but like singers. So a lot of like American singers will like fake a British accent, like when
British
they
accent.
sing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or or sometimes like a British or Australian singer will sound like more American when they sing. Like those three countries specifically, like the singing voices kind of like mix around a little bit, which I think is neat. So
Why they do that?
I don't know. I guess like the British accent, like Americans hear it and we think it sounds fancy. We're like, oh, that person's like very classy. That's probably
Mm,
not necessarily the truth. They're just like normal people. But to us, culturally, it's like, oh wow, like they're so smart. Like they must be rich. Like it's a perception a little bit.
see. Yeah, yeah. In here, they're like a more sexy, maybe. The
Mhm.
British accent is more sexy.
Ah, yeah. I don't know. And that's very interesting to me. Very interesting. So the funny thing too is like, oh, maybe you know this. We might have talked about it before, but like the British accent today isn't the original one. Um, so in the 1800s, the British accent changed because a bunch of people started kind of like changing it or making it more intense so they could sound rich, like the wealthy people, and it just kind of stuck. And so, if you ever read Shakespeare, it was written in the 1600s before this happened. And so, if you read it in like the modern British accent, some of the words, like the rhyme is lost a little bit because the accent has changed that much. But if you read it in an American accent, there are parts where it actually like sounds better and closer to the original because that change never happened here with English. It's kind of similar, I guess, since the beginning of colonial days. Not in Texas, not in Texas, but in some of the states in like the north. So,
See.
yeah.
Wow. Nice. I haven't known that. I haven't known that.
Yeah. And so if you ever like watch a Shakespeare play or like see a movie based on it, you have to notice like are they speaking with a British accent or an American one and see what sounds more natural.
I see.
Yeah. Sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. So, it's gotta have a good ear, I think. Okay. Anyways, TOEFL.
Okay.
I always forget, but I feel like I've gotten better about remembering these days. Okay. Oh, I feel like we've done so many. Let's see if we can find a different type of topic. I don't think we've done one of these good idea type essays before. We could try one of these.
Yeah.
These are kind of rare, but this will be good practice. I guess anyone that you want, really, like 43 through 47. If there's something that stands out.
For your what?
Oh, like what? I would choose either question 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. And if you don't like any of those, I guess you can scroll down and show 48 too. So.
Yeah.
This one might be interesting for the architecture student to write about.
It is a NIMBY and Pimpy, am I right?
Oh yeah, NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Yeah, NIMBY. Mm. Okay.
Which one do you think you're gonna go with?
44.
44? Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that one. I think it's interesting. What are you gonna argue in favor of? Would you support or oppose the construction of something in your neighborhood?
Mm, I think I agree.
Hmm. Okay, cool. Let me get a timer pulled up, and I guess while you're writing, I can see if I can find any articles or something that you might find interesting about this topic.
Okay.
Um, oh no, where is it? Okay, I'm getting this pulled up. Here's a funny story. So my friend's his phone is broken, and so he's been using his laptop
Mhm.
as a alarm clock, which I think is that image is so funny to me. Like him sitting in bed with like his laptop out, so he can see the alarm. Some bad luck for his phone to break. Okay. Anyways, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay.
Oh, I see. You just chatted me, right? Awesome. How's the writing going so far? Pretty good. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Hello?
Hello. How's the writing going? I just saw you chatted me. Any good, you think? Okay, let's see. And the time is 7:14:32. Okay, that's interesting. Because, now, for me, usually our classes start at 7 a.m., but because of the time change, they start at 6 a.m. So it is almost 7 a.m. We're at 7 minutes. So, very interesting coincidence. Okay, let's see. Oh, can you see my screen, like all of it? I realize there are a lot of tabs open.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, is it like big enough, or do you want me to zoom in?
No, it's enough.
Okay. So there are a lot of facilities. They give us some advantages, but also they give some disadvantages too. Because of that, some people agree and other people disagree about the opening of facilities. If someone asked me if a large shopping mall is open in my neighborhood, would you support or oppose? Then I will say support. Okay, pretty good. A few things. So, for but also, make sure you put your comma right here. They give us some advantages. Oh, so in the sentence you wrote, they give us some advantages, but also, comma, they give us some disadvantages too. So this is like sentence one. This is sentence two, and we're connecting them with the word but, so like a compound sentence, so you need a comma right here. But you do also need the comma after also, because this is like starting a sentence with a transition word. And two commas there. So because of that, some people agree and other people disagree about the opening of facilities. I really like this sentence. And the way you phrase it, I thought was good. Oh yeah, this is right. Because of some people, yeah, you do need a comma there. Some people agree and other people disagree about the opening of facilities. If someone, I would maybe say if someone were to ask me, because it's like a hypothetical situation, it hasn't happened yet. We're just imagining what you would say if someone did ask you. So if someone were to ask me, I would maybe change the order of this a little bit. Would you support the would you support or oppose the opening of a large shopping mall in your neighborhood? Then I would say support. Okay, and you don't have to make this change. The reason why I would maybe phrase it this way is because it's easier as the reader to like see the question first before you see the answer to the question. And so if you start out by saying, would you support or oppose the opening of a large shopping mall? It just makes your meaning a little bit more clear. Again, like you don't have to, it's just a style choice. But typically, like when I write, I try to, generally the rule is like you want to start out with a noun and then you want to go straight to your verb and then kind of have like the description and extra stuff at the end. So if you follow that rule, I would say it probably makes more sense to write it this way. But again, there are tons of people that don't do that, so no pressure. Okay, any questions about any of the additions here, any of the commas I added?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the commas are the hardest part. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Okay, yeah, we have time to do another paragraph. You want to do that?
Yep.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready and I'll press play. Or start. Sorry, not play. Okay, I see you sent me something cool. Okay. So if there is a large shopping mall in our neighborhood, okay, we will get various advantages. First, we can use the shopping mall easily. Some people, instead of saying can say, I would maybe say may say, because it's hypothetical. So some people may say there will be traffic jams after the opening of the shopping mall, but we don't have to bring our car because it will be, I would say it will be near our house. It will be near our house. Um, we don't have we don't have to worry about traffic jams. Sweet. Yeah, any questions about that one? I guess it was mostly just changing the usage of the word near and then just capitalization, nothing major. Any questions about that, like being near from versus being just near something?
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of how that works. Um, so if you're just talking about like locations of things on a map, we use the word near, so things that are close together. Um, if we use something like near from or near to, usually there's some action. So like if I am doing my homework, I would say, "Oh, I'm near from finishing my homework," or "I'm near to finishing my homework." But there's usually like some type of action involved. We use a word like from or to with that word near. And if we're just talking about location, most of the time it's just by itself. You know, Houston is near Dallas or something like that, or the library is near the school. Any questions about that?
No, no.
Okay, yeah, it's not super common knowledge. You kind of have to just pick up on it a little bit to get the hang of it. Okay, so we have like 5 minutes left. Do you want to do another paragraph, or do you want to talk about some of the articles and graphs that I found? Do you think you can do a okay articles and graphs?
Yep.
Or paragraph? Okay. We'll talk about articles and graphs. Let me make this bigger. I thought this was interesting. So it says there's been some research that says that there's been an increase in shopping tourism. And so before, people never really used to travel to go shopping, but that's not the case anymore. In fact, there are quite a few people who travel just to go shopping. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then I was looking it up. I'm like, okay, so what countries or what cities have the most shopping tourism? And so if you look on this chart right here, that's what this is showing. So Dubai, Mecca, Bangkok, Singapore, London, and New York.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought this is cool, especially Mecca, right? This is where Muslims do their pilgrimage to. Which I guess you never think about that. Like, you know, religion and pilgrimage is actually, it could be interpreted as a form of tourism. So I thought that was neat. And actually, yeah, I don't know if you've ever learned about this in like an art history class, but a lot of like art history classes in the U.S. we learn about like the old cathedrals in Europe, and they did kind of something similar to Mecca, and so different cathedrals would have like relics in them, so like famous objects related to like Bible stories or the stories of different saints. And so people would pay to see these relics, and they would just like walk from one cathedral to the next, like pay money to see these relics at each one. And so it's kind of like this trail of money, which makes me think of like this pilgrimage to Mecca. So, yeah. But those are kind of interesting. If you ever get the chance to go to Europe, you know, I'm going for the first time this summer, but apparently it's supposed to be really cool. But some of these very old, like, cool, but some of the, like these very old churches and cathedrals, they claim that they have like, I don't know, like the Virgin Mary's finger or something. They'll have like the bone on display. It's very interesting. So,
Where did you where did you visit from Europe?
oh, so I actually haven't visited anywhere yet, but I'm going to Spain this summer, Madrid.
Yeah, Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, but I took an art history class and we talked about that a lot. My teacher, I think, lived in France for a few years, and so she knew a lot of just like very interesting information.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah. And this one I thought was interesting. So here's what people spend when they visit New York City, at least in 2012. It's probably changed since then. I'm curious, when you traveled to the US, what did you say that you spent the most money on out of these categories here?
Me, in my case,
Mm-hmm.
maybe restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of good food. Mm-hmm.
Steak.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those steakhouses are expensive sometimes.
Yeah, steaks or a hamburger or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And then the other one, um, so a lot of oh, so this is specific to Houston. So Houston is famous for being basically a hard city to walk through. And so is Fort Worth, which is, another city in Texas. And so a lot of these different commercial developments, if they're mixed use spaces, they actually make the city more walkable. And so there are a bunch of like new construction projects in Houston that are trying to make the city more walkable that I thought were kind of cool. Especially since it's been a few years since you visited Houston. Some of these I think are very interesting. I definitely would not have imagined them building something like this, 5 years ago.
The walkable is like making the road for people for walk. So like a
Mm-hmm.
park thing.
Yeah, like a park, or just to have like. So Houston has no zoning laws, right? And so because of that, you might have like your office space over here, but your house is over here. But you want to go to this restaurant over here. Like everything is very spread out and not organized. And so these mixed use developments, they put basically all these different places in the same building. So your office is in the same building as a shopping center, which is in the same building as like your apartment. And so they're starting to like build these in Houston to make the city more walkable, which is I thought very cool because it does not look like this now at all. So like this one I thought was neat. They have the store at the bottom and then they have a library up here.
Nice.
This one I thought was pretty
Oh.
too.
Nice.
Oh, this one. Okay, I think this one actually might be the most interesting. So, did you ever go downtown and see Buffalo Bayou while you were there?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, not everyone goes to visit it. So basically, all around the city, there's this bayou, Buffalo Bayou, and it used to be just kind of a terrible place to go. It's kind of like because that's where all the water drains, and so it's kind of dirty and gross, right? But there have been all these new projects to like build parks around it and to like build a running trail. And I guess this is another one too to build like this new development. And so now it's actually like really nice. And they have like an art exhibit there too on the bayou. So yeah, very
Have you
cool.
been there?
I have actually. Let's see. Oh, let's see if I can show you some of the art. I think it's worth looking at. Ah, here it is. So it's a cistern. So it's a giant chamber underground that they used to store water back when the city was first built. Now it's empty,
Oh,
but they'll put art exhibits in here, and so Here's a space that used to be not used at all and like considered very ugly, like an eyesore in the city. But now they do art down here. Like they'll have light shows and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So if you ever come back to Houston, you gotta visit the cistern. I think it's very neat. It's worth seeing at least once.
Oh,
Let's see if we can find one with art in it. The art is kind of cool. Ah, here's one. So they do different light shows and stuff.
oh,
Here's a different one. I guess they made it look like I don't know what this is supposed to be.
oh, wow.
It reminds me of the Matrix a little.
Nice. This is like a building.
Mm-hmm. Very
Then,
cool.
have you been there? Like to watch that?
Oh yes, I went to see the rainbow one. I haven't seen this black and white one, but I saw the rainbow one in person.
A rainbow one.
Yeah,
How
this
is
one.
it?
It was very cool. It was like
Oh,
if it wasn't the rainbow lights, like I would feel like it was in a horror movie or like maybe in a dream. Just because I mean they built this room to hold water, right? And
yeah.
so it's massive. It's huge. Like it maybe is like a mile all the way around. So it's very neat. Very weird feeling, but cool.
How was the smell? You said it was dirty before.
Oh yeah, so it smelled fine, actually.
Oh,
No smell at all. Yeah. I'll say no smell to me. But I'm used to the smell of Houston, so I don't know. Maybe if you're from out of town, it has a smell, but could be. Yeah. The other one
nice.
too is, let's see, the Houston Ship Channel was a similar story. It used to be that it was so polluted that fish literally could not live there. Like all the fish died, and so in the 1970s, my university specifically like helped clean up the Houston Ship Channel. I mean, it's still kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of like chemical plants, like refineries around it. Actually, my old office used to be on the Houston Ship Channel, but fish can live there now, and it is nice enough that they even do tours. And so, if
Oh,
you've ever wanted to see what like a very this is like the fourth busiest port in the world, actually.
oh,
In Houston, it's so surprising, right? You don't think of Houston of being like this big industry city, but it is. And so you can go on actually a tour of the Houston Ship Channel, and they'll point out the different like boats and factories and refineries and stuff.
oh.
This one definitely smells. Even to me, it smells, and I'm like used to the smell. So all this stuff
It is
would leach like
moisture at that place.
so
Is it
it's the
moisture?
moisture. Yeah, so there's a lot of humidity and moisture from the water, but also like I don't know if you can see, but these different like distillation columns and stuff, they're
Mm.
making all sorts of chemicals, and some of them I don't know, they can have like a smell to them. And so if something is like acidic, it can sometimes smell kind of like sour. And some of these chemicals even have a sweet smell. And so
Oh.
it's just like all these different smells mixing and it's a little odd. But,
Because of that, the factory, chemical
yeah.
factory.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of factories just like up and down the water. I'll show you one more thing. Or do you have to go? I realize we're past class, but I feel like this is kind of interesting maybe. If it's not interesting, let me know and I will let you escape. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Ah, here we go. Let's see if I can show you on the map. So this is where I used to work. Oh, this is it. I'm trying to remember how oh, here we go, layers. So this is where I used to work. This is the bayou that I was talking about that used to be really disgusting, but then they added that art exhibit and all the running trails, and it just kind of like runs through Houston. And then right here, if you can see, is here we're gonna probably zoom out a little bit. Is like the Houston Ship Channel up here. And so this whole entire area, I don't know if you can see, but it's like literally all chemical plants. Like every single part of this is a chemical plant. So, uh, drainage services, that's one.
Oh,
I can't remember what this one is. Lubrizol, maybe they make like like the type of fabrics that are in
fabrics
leggings, or in like leggings and athletic clothes. So
like a nylon, something like that.
yeah, like nylon, but also some of the other performance materials. They make a lot of that stuff here, and so that's also around here. So yeah, but it's kind of neat. The part that I think is very interesting, this will be my last comment, is they also have a wildlife management area right in the middle. And
Wow.
I always wonder, what type of wildlife lives here? If I were like a crane or something, I would go live somewhere else. But
Then when they want to go to home, then they have to ride the ship.
oh yeah, I suppose so. The same as I bet you probably went to Galveston when you were here, right? A lot of people
Callus?
do. Uh huh.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, mate. Yeah, Galveston. It's like the beach in Texas. It's not a very pretty beach. To be honest with you, like it's kind of gross. But Galveston is the same way. So you can either there's a bridge. I'm trying to remember where the bridge is. There it is. So you can take the bridge across the ocean to get over to the island, or there's also a ferry too. So you can take the boat over. You like drive your car onto the boat. So let's see if I can show you a picture real quick. Oh, we'll zoom in. Here's Galveston Beach.
Oh,
I don't know. It's not a pretty beach. There's a roller coaster though, and that's fun. Yeah.
the no.
No worries.
I think
Okay.
I have seen that before.
Oh, yeah, you probably have. I feel like most people when they visit Houston, they go there. I bet Linda probably took you and like the other students when you were here, would be my guess.
Yeah, probably.
So, mhm. Okay, well that's it from me. Thank you for like entertaining me and letting me show you some Houston stuff. I always like to show off my city when I can. So
Yeah, I love it.
okay, good. Okay, well I'll let you go. Have a good rest of your week, and I will see you on. Let's see, it's Friday for me, Saturday for you.
Okay. Okay, have
Always
a
have to
good
think
day.
about that one. You too. Bye.
Bye bye.